What if you could build an asset that works for you 24/7? I'm not talking about stocks or houses. I'm talking about a piece of real estate that exists entirely online. Today we're going to break down how to build your own digital empire one niche at a time.
Just let that sink in for a second. We're not talking about just using the internet. We're talking about owning a little corner of it. A corner that generates real, passive income and turns what you know into a tangible, valuable asset.
And the way we do this is with something called a niche website. Look, forget trying to be the next big news site or another Amazon. The real goal here is to become the absolute go-to authority on one very specific topic. This isn't just a hobby blog. Think of it as a rental property, built entirely with pixels and words. So, what makes this whole digital real estate thing so powerful? Well, it all comes down to one crucial principle: the power of focus. You see, on the internet, being broad is actually a weakness. Depth, now that's a superpower. And here is the perfect example of what I mean. You're just not going to win by creating a website about cooking. It's way too broad. You'd be up against giants. But you could absolutely dominate the conversation around one-pot vegan recipes. That laser focus, that's your secret weapon. Okay, so you've picked your super specific niche. How in the world do people find you? This is where the engine of your entire operation comes into play, the SEO traffic machine.
Now, I know SEO can sound super technical, but for our purposes, its mission is beautifully simple. You create content that is so helpful that Google literally can't resist showing it to people who are already looking for you. This flips the whole script. You're not chasing an audience, you're building a magnet that lets them find you.
Think about this for a second. Social media ads, they're an interruption, they're noise. SEO, on the other hand, is an answer. You are meeting people at the exact moment of their need. You become a solution, not a distraction. That is an incredibly powerful place to be. And by the way, the traffic it generates is totally free.
All right, so hopefully you're sold on the what and the why. So let's get into the how. We're going to walk through the exact 4-step blueprint you can use to build your very first piece of digital property.
It really all boils down to these 4 pillars. First, find your niche. Then, build the foundation. After that, you create what's called pillar content. And finally, you monetize all that traffic. Let's zoom in on a couple of the most important decisions you'll make in this whole process. Step 1 is without a doubt the most critical. You're not just looking for a topic you like, you're on a hunt for uncontested digital territory. And the key to finding it is using what are called long-tail keywords. You know, those longer, more specific search phrases like best hiking boots for wide feet. That's your strategic sweet spot. And before we go any further, it's so important to understand the end game, how you're going to make money. Knowing your options right from the start really shapes your entire strategy. So the simplest path is display ads. That's pretty much pure passive income. Then you've got affiliate marketing, where you earn a commission for recommending products. But the highest potential, that comes from creating your own products, where you trade some of that passivity for a much, much bigger payout. You know, building that first site is a huge achievement. But the real magic, that happens when you start to scale it into a true empire. Once your traffic and your income are consistent, your role has to change. You go from being the builder to being the CEO. So what does scaling look like? Well, it means using your profits to hire writers, which frees you up to focus on the bigger picture. Things like building links from other sites to boost your authority. And here's the ultimate endgame for a lot of people. You can actually sell your website, often for a life-changing amount of money. And when you do sell, the price isn't just pulled out of thin air. A profitable content site sells for a multiple of its monthly profit. And right now, the industry standard is an incredible 30 to 40 times that monthly number. So let's just do some quick math here. A site that's making just $3,000 a month, which is very, very achievable, can be sold for over $100,000. That right there is the power of building a real digital asset. Okay, now before you rush off to buy a domain name, we need to have a serious talk about the mistakes. Because building an empire isn't easy, and these are the most common pitfalls that stop people dead in their tracks. Let this one really sink in. You can write the most brilliant, helpful articles in the entire world, but if you don't build with a clear strategy, no one is ever going to find them. Hope is not a strategy in this game. And these are the 3 cardinal sins. Number 1, going way too broad, like targeting health and wellness. Number 2,
not publishing consistently, especially in that critical first year. And the biggest one of all, ignoring SEO. Every single piece of content you create has to be made with a specific keyword and a specific searcher in mind right from day one.
So, the blueprint is clear and the potential is just massive. We're talking everything from passive monthly income to a six-figure exit. Your little corner of the internet is out there and it's just waiting for an owner. The only question left is, what are you going to build?